Sectional number 6, Paul, Southport, Perry. You have 3 ranked teams in this sectional. I mean, that's what makes it so unique. I mean, the Southport, they're ranked number 8. Perry, winless to this point. Ben Davis is sitting there, ranked number 7. They're playing Pike. What a matchup that is to start with. And then you have Brownsburg and Franklin Central. But, boy, you love the Ben Davis-Pike matchup, and they're bracketed opposite the Southport Ball Club. Has been one of those great stories of the year.
Ben Davis is going to play power football. Pike is going to throw it around the yard. Make no mistake about Dakota Tyler, DeJuan Lewis, some guys, great athletes on the perimeter for Coach Derek Moyers. And, of course, Ben Davis, Mike Kirshner is going to try to get Jordan Stepp in line. If they can play power football and run, they're going to be a team to beat. And, of course, it's going to be at Pike. So, interesting scenario there. You look at the top half there, you got Southport. Southport has been the feel-good story in high school football this year, a perennial program. It's been really down, and Bill Peebles has done an outstanding job getting them into position. They got one of the premier players in the state. Nikki Turner's got over 1,200 yards rushing so far this season. That certainly would bring a lot of special properties if they can win their first ever sectional. Make no mistake about it. I think that's it's going to be really, really neat. I think the last time Southport won it was 1990, Coach, back in the Stone Age. But it's going to be
back when you had some hair, and
I wouldn't go that far.
And mine wasn't white. Is what you're trying to say.
Should be a great sectional, nonetheless.
Sectional 7, Center Grove seems to be the prohibitive favorite, if you will. But Bloomington South has had a nice run at 5-2. Columbus North is a very capable team. But the job that Eric Moore and his Trojans have done has been magnificent.
You know, you look at the 2 best teams in this sectional on paper are in the bottom of the bracket. They'll play each other in round 2. Everything plays true to form. Center Grove, once again, we talked about the importance of have senior leadership, senior-dominated teams. And then you look at the Swift kid and Llewellyn from Center Grove. They've got great leadership. They're a very, very high-quality team. But I tell you what, look at Marcus Eitner and the kids at Bloomington South. Outstanding. They can throw that ball around the yard. That's an interesting round 2 potential matchup. I tell you what, it's a who's who in the top half of Sectional 7 because I couldn't tell you who's going to win in the top half.
Sectional number 8, to wrap it up, Castle's ranked number 12. They're hosting Evansville North. Winner of that game plays New Albany. But you look at it, New Albany's 5-2. BNL, Bedford North Lawrence, 5-2. But Castle right now, the slight edge, if you will.
I think Castle's the team that plays the best defense in this sectional. You look at some very offensive-oriented teams. Jeffersonville, they've got some great offensive player, Edward Wright Baker, who's going to Indiana. You look at Bedford North Lawrence, Jacob Perry, who can throw it all over the place and run. You look at New Albany, they've had a pretty good year. But I tell you what, I think the senior leadership of Castle, as well as their defense, Graham Sako, Tyler Schaff, a great 1-2 punch there down in Vandenberg County. I think it's going to be a really interesting series as that plays itself out. This one, I certainly think the Castle's got a little bit of an edge, but certainly not the prohibitive favorite by any means.
All right, now, we are finished, Paul. We have gone through the pairings, and we appreciate everyone staying with us and being with us on the IHSAA Methodist Sports Medicine Championship Radio Network and IHSAsports.org. We encourage you to go to the website and check out those pairings again. Go to IHSA.org. And, Paul, again, at the top of the show, we mentioned that you have Carmel with the 5A championship a year ago, Evansville Rights in 4A, Chittard, the 3A, Lures, and Sheridan 2A, 1A respectively. Chittard and Sheridan going for their 10th championships. And you look now at these pairings. Start with 1A and quickly, you got to, just go through quickly. Who can unseat these champions?
Well, certainly you look at Sheridan. Let's start right there. And Nick Zachary, I think that is going to be the toughest road to senior-dominated Sheridan team that has won 43 consecutive football games. I tell you what, that says volumes for what they're all about. That's going to be tough road to hoe for any team to be able to knock them out. I think they are the prohibitive favorite. If there is a prohibitive favorite in any tournament, it's Sheridan in Class 1A.
In 2A, Fort Wayne Bishop Lures, even though a couple of losses, great schedule, great athletes. Matt Lindsay's kids won it a year ago. You have to think someone's going to have to play awfully well. Can Heritage Christian air it out and play defensively strong enough to do that?
Well, I tell you what, Heritage Christian is certainly a team. But you look at Southridge, you look at North Putnam and the Dahlstrom boy down there. I think that's an interesting dynamic. But once again, if you can survive the meat grinder of Sectional 27, the Jim Towns, the Hardings, the Garretts, and whatnot, and Fairfield, I should say. that's going to be you're battle-tested, tough, and ready to go.
Chittard comes in, the two-time defending champion 3A, but West Lafayette, Western, North Montgomery, Northwood, Yorktown, teams all with either undefeated or one loss. Maybe those teams can challenge the Trojans who are going to put it on the ground and run right at you.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting scenario. I like West Lafayette a lot. I like what Matt Lancaster, I think he's one of the top candidates for the 3A Player of the Year. He can throw it around. He's got great supporting staff. But likewise, you have to look at Chittard. They've been there, done that. They got a lot of T-shirts to prove that to going into this situation. I like those two teams as a potential state championship matchup, and I certainly think that would be something that I think would be worth the admission.
You have said at times 4A may be the deepest and best it's been in your memory. And if you look at it with East, Lowell, Dwinger, Shelbyville, Whiteland, Delta, Plymouth, all undefeated, no argument there.
No question about it. This may be the best year of 4A football. There are some teams in 4A that would contend for the 5A state championship. That's how good they are. The question is how are they going to be able to handle those tough weather situations? That's the factor, especially from the teams from the north. If a finesse team from the north gets onto a bad weather day, that could play all kinds of different dynamics into what they're able to do. Coming from the south, I tell you what, you've got Cathedral and Whiteland, and you've got Columbus East. There has never been a collection of teams coming from the bottom half of the 4A tournament that is as loaded as this.
And wide open, I think, might be an overstatement, but 5A, there are some very, very talented teams.
Once again, you look at the MIC. The MIC has proven over the course of this year and the last 6 or 7 years, it's the MIC's state championship to win. I think a team from the MIC, I'm going to go way, way out there on the limb, Coach, a team from the MIC is going to win this thing.
Well, Paul, it begins, as we mentioned, on the 24th of October. And, again, our thanks to the commissioner of the IHSAA, Blake Ress, and his staff for a great job, as always. We encourage you to go out and support these teams, see some great football, and you can also check out some great action here on IHSAsports.org. Again, our thanks to Ira Mayer, to Rob Nichols, Scott Johnston, a great job as always, Amy Harper, Celeste Ginnon, Julie Illenfelt, a wonderful job of making this all happen. And as we get ready, we're hopeful that the weather will hold off, Paul, that we'll have some great games, it'll be safe, and that we'll have another great tournament. And we again thank everyone for joining us on the IHSA Methodist Sports Medicine Championship Radio Network and IHSAsports.org. You've been listening to the Indiana High School Football Sectional Pairing Show on the IHSA Methodist Sports Medicine Championship Network. I'm Bob Lovell for Paul Condry. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great week and have a great tournament.